watching there the Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, accompanied by the First Lady Emine Erdogan, walking into the presidential complex in Ankara as he begins and the inauguration ceremony that is underway right now. Yusuf is here with us, our editor-at-large. Talk to us about the pictures we're seeing and how it fits in with the events we've seen earlier today and what's expected later.
Well, what we're expecting right now is the inauguration ceremony. There are heads of state and foreign dignitaries from 78 different countries, so quite a wide participation at this very important event for Turkey. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan being elected a third time as president, a second time as executive president under the new presidential system. So we can see right now inside the auditorium where the ceremony is going to be basically standing room only inside there. Can't even see an empty chair. The Turkish president slowly making his way towards the room, and he's with his wife, the First Lady Emine Erdogan.
तुर्की में अंकारा सदारती महल में तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया है। तुर्क सदर रजब तैयब एर्दोगान तीसरी मुद्दत के लिए सदर मुंतखब हुए हैं। आज इससे कबल उन्होंने पार्लियामेंट में हल्फ बर्दारी में शिरकत की। दुनिया भर से सरबराहान हुकूमत, सरबराहान ममलिकत इस तकरीब में शिरकत हैं। 13 ममालिक के वज़राए आज़म इस तकरीब में शिरकत कर रहे हैं। वज़ीर आज़म मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ भी सदर रजब तैयब एर्दोगान की तकरीब हल्फ-बर्दारी में शरीक हैं। खुसूसी दावत पर इस वक्त सदारती महल में एक तकरीब का एहतमाम किया गया है, जहां पर सकाफती कल्चरल शो का भी इनेकाद किया गया है। तुर्क तारीख के हवाले से भी यहां पर भरपूर अक्कासी की जा रही है।
From historic tribes of Turkey, from past states, from per se the Ottomans, the Seljuks, the Gökturks. These are very traditional garbs that you're seeing right now. People dressed in reminiscent of the previous reiterations of the Turkish state and the historic peoples, the Turkic peoples as well. So a lot of symbolism there, a lot of respect towards history there as well. So very nice to see this type of pageantry at these types of events. And I think it's also probably very interesting for the visiting heads of state to see that 2,000, 3,000 year history of the Turkish peoples represented through the different attire that the gentlemen were wearing that we just saw on our screens just a couple seconds ago.
And Yusuf, what do we know about who is in that audience right now?
Well, we know that there are heads of state, prime ministers, presidents, vice presidents, ministers from many different countries. We know that the prime minister of Azerbaijan, the president of Azerbaijan, and the Armenian prime minister are both in attendance. Pakistan here at very high level representation as well. Greece has sent its foreign minister. I believe the NATO Secretary General is also in attendance, but there is a huge list of heads of state, foreign dignitaries that are all in attendance as well. I don't know exactly who is in attendance, but throughout the day, as we're looking at these live pictures, we're going to have a much better idea of who's there. I could see on the side, it looks like some religious leaders are there as well. It looks like the head of religious affairs is there, and it looks like I see the president of Uzbekistan right there to the very left, Shavkat Mirziyoyev right now. He seems to be in a very in-depth discussion with the chairman of the Turkish Nationalist Party, Mr. Devlet Bahçeli. In the background, to his left shoulder, that was Nikol Pashinyan, the Armenian prime minister, one of the highlighted guests that many people sparked interest that he was participating in this event. Very important event, and seeing Armenian participation, very optimistic sign of possible diplomacy to come.
Absolutely, and I spotted him there too. And talk to us about how important this is for diplomatic efforts going forward.
Well, Turkey plays a very important role in diplomacy throughout the region, whether it's regarding the war in Ukraine with its diplomacy between Russia and Ukraine, whether it's the diplomacy on the South Caucasus between Azerbaijan and Armenia, whether it's a seat at the table in Syria with Russia, Iran, the United States, quite possibly the Syrian regime maybe in the future, whether it's Libya, its role in diplomacy there. So as you can see, there's a great many hotspots and flashpoints throughout the world where Turkey is a central actor in bringing all sides together. And I don't expect that to change. To the exact opposite, I expect that to be advanced and enhanced over the next 5 years, because I think that legacy building will be very important for Turkish President. And these projects and being able to attain peace and ceasefires are a very important part of the Turkish president's legacy. So I think that he'll be doubling down on his diplomacy in all of these theaters as he works towards bringing either ceasefires or more everlasting peace on many of these flashpoint issues.
Yusuf, for now, thank you so much indeed. Let's pick that very point up with Vehbi Baisan, who is actually also a historian and associate professor of history at Ibn Khaldun University. He joins us now live from Istanbul. On that very point of Vehbi, the legacy building that President Erdogan will be seeking to achieve in these next 5 years with regards to peace, ceasefires in the region.
Well, when we look at the attendees, that is extremely significant. It's because it shows Turkey's pivotal role in the region for establishing peace. I mean, can you believe that the president of Azerbaijan as well as Armenia were just in military conflict just a few months or a year ago, and now they're in the same hall together, and hopefully they would even shake hands. This is the world we want to see. It's the peace. And so also let's remember that Turkey under auspices of Mr. Erdogan managed a grain deal that 28 million tons of grains from Ukraine set off to the world where people were in not only poverty but at the edge of hunger. So let's also remember that UN or EU or America was not really able to achieve that deal. So that's the portrait, that's the picture, photograph we would like to see here. But also, while the cameras were showing, it's very important. And still, if you look at the center of the screen now, we have head of our Diyanet, the religious affairs, the chief religious affairs, the professor very well known internationally. But also to his left side, we have the non-Islamic communities, representatives already sitting there. I can see Mr. Bartholomeus is also there invited, and as a guest of honor as well. You can see as a group of it, and I cannot see in the picture, but also other communities represented. That in itself is historic and extremely important. So the history will remember all these, and this is probably the region is the most expectant from Turkey to be the peace maker, a mediator, and because our region, remember our neighbors from Syria to Iraq to Iran to Russia or Ukraine, really conflict zones, and it's a very difficult position geographically and also geostrategically. So I'm very happy to see all these guests of honors actually took their time and came to participate in this historic event. And I'm sure behind the curtains they will be also shaking hands and discussing many other issues, taking advantage of the situation. So this is the expectation. This is what the people of region expect.
And Vehbi, I just want to stay on this point about the people that are there in the audience. And according to our Anadolu agency, other leaders attending include Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro, South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa, and Pakistan's Shahbaz Sharif, and Libya's Abdul Hamid Dbeibeh. How much of reflection of Turkish foreign policy priorities is this guest list?
Well, absolutely. Let's start from Libya. I mean, it's after the Gaddafi's collapse, and you can see that it was dragged into civil war, and Turkey since then trying to assist the elected government at least to establish like a peace in that country so people can continue their normal lives. And also let's remember how we have representatives from Iraq, and ups and downs. We have relations with Iraq. It's our very, very important neighbor there. And hopefully in the future we will see highest level of visits from Egypt as well as the Saudi Arabia and the other countries, which the relations already getting much better. I think it's very important that the regional countries see this as a historic opportunity and share their best views and also share the excitement that is going on in Ankara in Kulliye. But to explain, Kulliye in the very Turkish tradition is the place where from all the scholars, politicians, bureaucrats, and also army commanders would gather, and what we call meshweret, they also have consultations between each other. So also we should here, I thought, with your permission, to underline the significance of this palace or this place.
Vehbi, do stay where you are for now. I will be speaking to you very shortly. Vehbi Baysar, a historian and associate professor at Ibn Khaldun University. Let's take you live to Ankara now and speak to Andrew Hopkins, our diplomatic correspondent, who right now is at Çankaya Mansion, where dinner will be held tonight and where the president will be announcing the cabinet. So what is expected later this evening?
انقرہ میں صدر ایردوان کی لفبرداری کے بعد تقریب کا اہتمام کیا گیا ہے صدارتی محل میں، جس میں نو منتخب صدر رجب طیب ایردوان اور ان کے اہلیہ بھی موجود ہیں۔ دنیا بھر سے 78 ممالک سے سربراہان حکومت، سربراہان مملکت اور نمائندگان شرکت کر رہے ہیں اس تقریب میں۔ پرتکلف تقریب ہے جس میں ترکیے کی ثقافت، ترکیے کی تہذیب و تمدن کے حوالے سے نمائندگی بھی کی جا رہی ہے۔ پاکستان کے وزیر اعظم محمد شہباز شریف ترکیے کے صدر رجب طیب ایردوان کی خصوصی دعوت پر تقریب حلف برداری میں شریک ہیں۔ وزیر اعظم محمد شہباز شریف کا یہ دورہ ترکیہ اور حلف برداری کی تقریب میں پاکستان اور ترکیے کے دوستانہ تعلقات، برادرانہ تعلقات، تاریخی مراسم کا منہ بولتا ثبوت ہیں۔ ترکیے کی بیشتر کمپنیز پاکستان میں سرمایہ کاری کر چکی ہیں۔ مزید سرمایہ کاری کے حوالے سے بھی وزیر اعظم محمد شہباز شریف کا یہ دورہ اہمیت کا حامل ہے۔ پاکستان اور ترکیے کے مابین تعلقات میں ایک اور باب کا اضافہ ہوا ہے۔ ترکیے کے صدر، نو منتخب صدر رجب طیب ایردوان تیسری مدت کے لیے صدر منتخب ہوئے ہیں۔ رن آف الیکشن میں دوسرے مرحلے میں انہوں نے 52.18% ووٹ حاصل کیے اور تیسری مدت کے لیے منتخب ہوئے۔ اس سے قبل 2014-2018 میں وہ ترکیے کے صدر منتخب ہوئے ہیں، جبکہ اب 2023 سے 2028 کے لیے تیسری مدت کے لیے وہ صدر منتخب ہوئے ہیں۔ انقرہ میں ترکیے کی پارلیمنٹ میں بھی صدر رجب طیب ایردوان کی جسٹس پارٹی کو اکثریت حاصل ہے۔ 600 اراکین کی پارلیمنٹ میں صدر رجب طیب ایردوان کی پارٹی اکثریت میں ہے۔ تاہم اتحادی حکومت کے ساتھ صدر رجب طیب ایردوان پر عزم ہیں ترکیے کی بہتری کے لیے۔ اسی سال ترکیے میں آنے والے شدید زلزلے کے بعد تعمیر و بحالی کے اقدامات کے دوران پاکستان کی جانب سے بھرپور امداد کی گئی۔ ترکیے کی پاکستان میں آنے والے سیلاب کے بعد ترکیے نے پاکستان کی جس طرح سے مدد کی وہ بھی بے مثال ہے۔ اس کے علاوہ عالمی فورمز پر پاکستان اور ترکیے کی ہم آواز ہونا پوری دنیا کے لیے واضح پیغام ہے۔ तुर्क सदर रजब तैयब एर्दोगान के हलफबर्दारी के बाद अंकारा में सदारती महल में तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया है। तुर्क सदर रजब तैयब एर्दोगान अपनी अहलिया के हमरा सदारती महल में उस हिस्से में तशरीफ लाए जहां पर तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया है। रिवायती अंदाज से उनकी आमद हुई, जिसके बाद उन्होंने फर्दन सरबराहान ममलिकात के साथ मुसाफा किया। वज़ीर आज़म मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ से भी मुसाफा किया और वज़ीर आज़म मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ ने तुर्क सदर को सदारत का मनसब तीसरी मरतबा संभालने पर मुबारकबाद दी है, नेक ख्वाहिशात का इजहार किया है। अंकारा में सदर एर्दोगान की हलफबर्दारी की तकरीब में वज़ीर आज़म मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ शरीक हैं। दुनिया भर से 78 ममालिक के सरबराहान हुकूमत, नुमाइंदगान, आलमी तंजीमों के नुमाइंदे इस तकरीब हलफबर्दारी में शरीक हुए। अब सदारती महल में तकरीब का इनेकाद किया गया है, जिसमें मंदूबीन हैं, वज़राए आज़म हैं, सदूर हैं मुख्तलिफ ममालिक के। तुर्की की तारीख में मुसलसल तीसरी मरतबा बतौर सदर मुंतखब होने वाले एर्दोगान ने अपने ओहदे का हल्फ उठाया है और अब इस तकरीब का एहतमाम किया गया है, जिसमें तुर्की की तारीख, तुर्की की रवायात, तुर्की का कल्चर, उसकी अक्कासी की जा रही है। दोस्त ममालिक के तमाम ममालिक से नुमाइंदगान, वज़राए ख़ारजा, वज़राए आज़म, सदूर इस तकरीब में शिरकत कर रहे हैं। वज़ीर आज़म मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ तुर्की के सदर की दावत पर खुसूसी तौर पर इस दावत में शिरकत कर रहे हैं। इस मौके पर तुर्क सदर ने वज़ीर आज़म मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ से मुसाफा भी किया, जबकि वज़ीर आज़म मोहम्मद शहबाज शरीफ ने तुर्क सदर रजब तैयब एर्दोगान को तीसरी मुद्दत के लिए मुंतखब होने पर मुबारकबाद दी।